Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's subject is interest rates and what happens next if interest rates don't come down. Well, as you can see from this chart here, interest rates typically were nowhere near what they have been in the last 10, 15 years on occasions. And typically your average mortgage was 6%, 7%, 8%. Car loans were 10 or 12%. And it wasn't until the bank crash in the US in 2008 that interest rates were dropped down to near zero, and they stayed there for many, many years, which affected a lot of things. It created bubbles in a lot of different markets, whether it be real estate, stock markets, etc. And the interesting thing is that a lot of folks that, that started getting mortgages and loans and such in the last 10, 15 years kind of expected interest rates or borrowing money to be, basically almost free. And I believe that the central banks know exactly what's going to happen if interest rates drop rapidly in the next couple of years. This will create massive bubbles in the housing markets and the stock markets that the Federal Reserves and the governments just don't want to see happen. So what happens next? I think you might see that interest rates will come down a little bit in the next couple of years in Canada and the US. But the one problem that we've run into at this point is that the US economy is running extremely hot, and the Federal Reserve, I believe, is very hesitant at the moment to drop rates because they don't see the need. And in Canada, our economy is not doing so well, but we're kind of joined at the hip with the US when it comes to interest rates, as you can see by this chart. So the Bank of Canada is kind of damned if they do and damned if they don't. So I believe what you're going to see is right now there is a huge problem in the Canadian real estate market. Houses are not selling. Developers are putting developments on hold. And people, for obvious reasons, are not spending the way they did when interest rates were next to zero. And that's just common sense, but unfortunately, sometimes common sense doesn't prevail. So I believe what we're going to see in the next 6 months to a year is we might see a couple of small interest rate cuts in Canada, but not enough to really make much of a difference in the cost of borrowing. And if the US doesn't follow suit or even cut before Canada, this could cause some issues with the Canadian dollar. So what happens next? Well, if interest rates stay high, you will see less investment by investors and corporations because they don't see they won't or don't see the need to invest when they have to borrow money at higher rates. So that will drag on our economy. The housing markets, even though higher interest rates, a lot of people kind of thought the housing market in Canada would crater, but because of supply and demand, we're not seeing that happen. And they figure that even with an interest rate drop, the housing market in Canada, if the rate drops too much, it could cause the housing market to go a little bit crazy. So the Bank of Canada doesn't want to see that either. So I believe in the next year or two, we will see a bit of a drop. But like I said, you will not see, the rates of throughout the pandemic or in the earlier 2000s that we saw before, where money was free. So my suggestion would be, and how I will handle this is any way that you can stay out of debt is a good thing. Keep your cost of living as low as you can. Try to sock away some money and take advantage of the higher rates, whether it be buying a GIC or even keeping your money in a high rate savings account if you're a risk adverse person, and just ride it out. If you're waiting to get a mortgage, you might be better to take advantage of the rates we have now, because like I said, I don't believe that they're going to come down very much in the future. So anyhow, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That way you get informed when I upload a new video. And hit that like button. It helps the channel, and share this video if you think folks on your social media might benefit from it. And I wish you all well and have a wonderful day.